Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to fit a new fuel filter to a Mercedes Sprinter. In this case it's a 2010 van. This should work for any of the Euro 5 Mercedes Sprinters. And it's probably quite similar for the Euro 4s as well. Okay, first of all we'll start by taking off the airbox. So we have two plugs on here. A jump start terminal and an oil filler cap. Now I tend to remove these plugs just by lifting the tab on the inside there and pulling that back. One Jubilee clip to undo. That would be a 7mm or a flat screwdriver if you haven't got one. Should be able to pull that off fairly easily. This plug has a small tab here that you can push down like that and pull off. Underneath the jump start terminal you'll find a small tab, so if you follow my finger in there, you push that and then that just lifts away and drops down to the side. You have a similar sort of thing this side for the oil filler cap, so just underneath you'll find a small tab you can push and lift it away. Okay, now once you've done that you're ready to remove the airbox. Now you find these small brackets at the front that push into rubber fixings. I tend to just put a screwdriver underneath the front, just gently lift them out like that. Okay, lift the airbox up and out of the way. Next thing you have here is the oil filler cap, which is piped down into here and goes into the top of the rocker cover. Very simple. Just turn that 180 degrees and release. Okay, now just lift the engine cover out of the way. Maybe still on its rubber fixing, so it might take a bit of a pull. Remove that. Now we can see the fuel filter. Fuel filter lives just down here. Okay, a few rubber hoses in its way, but fairly simple to take out. Now you've got on this one a bleed pipe, one plug and two pipes, a in and an out. So what we'll do first, this one looks like it's got Jubilee clips on it, so it's obviously been done before. We'll undo these clips. I think from the factory these have more of a spring type clip, which requires a special pliers. They're a bit more fiddly. Often people tend to remove them and fit Jubilee clips to make things a bit easier. Pull the pipes off one by one. Now the two pipes are different sizes, so you shouldn't have to worry about mixing them up. But I guess it wouldn't do any harm to mark the pipes with a bit of paint or something like that. Right, let's remove this plug. So there's a little grey tab here. And get you in a little bit closer. You just pop that back. That unlocks it. And then you should just be able to push that off and out of the way, just like that. Okay, your overflow can stay attached. Or your bleed pipe can stay attached while you remove it. And you've got two little clips here. These essentially hold the fuel filter into the fuel filter housing. Now be a bit careful with this housing because it incorporates a metal pipe within it further down. So you don't want to be too rough with it. You're into a bit more work to change that. Okay, so that's one. Just pop the screwdriver down the side of it there. Flick it open like that. Now hopefully that will have come loose. Yes, it has. Okay, so that's the fuel filter removed. Oh, little spillage there, I have to blow that off. Okay, so that's the fuel filter out. This one is a Bosch 026402-104. Doesn't look that old, but we'll change it anyway. Okay, so we've removed the two T25 Torx bolts from the top of the sensor and the filter. Now it's a little bit tight coming out. It's got 4 O-rings on there. So I just had to stick a little screwdriver in between the plug and the top of the filter and gently prise it out while you're twisting. And it came out pretty easy. So that's what we're left with to fit into the new housing. Okay, that's the new filter slotted back in. Right, so better mention, sometimes there's a sensor in the top of this filter. Okay, now some filter manufacturers will supply the sensor with the filter, some won't. Now if you do need to change it, you've got 2 small Torx bolts in the top. Just undo those, this will slide out, you'll have a seal underneath. You should get a new seal with the new filter, and screw it back down, and that should be okay. Now, it's always with a diesel recommended to really fill the filter with diesel before you try and start it. Just plug that sensor in there. I'm not going to do that in this case because it does have an electric lift pump in the tank. So we'll see how we get on. But if you don't have a lift pump in the tank, always fill it with some nice clean diesel, because it'll make your life a lot easier when it comes to starting it. Just push those 2 spring clips back in there, a little bit tight. The bleed pipe, clip that on there, that wasn't actually clipped in. I'm going to replace the Jubilee clips because I don't think the old ones were quite the correct size. So let's put a new clip on there. New clip on there. Now, Jubilee clips need to be tight, but don't go mad with them because you'll only end up cutting through the fuel pipe that you're trying to protect and stop from falling off. So just be a bit careful with them. Okay, always have a little check before you put the covers back on. Okay, so that's 1 clip there, 2 clips. Plug's plugged in. Little grey locking tab to stop the plug coming out. That's pushed back in. Bleed pipe is attached and tight. Okay, so put the engine cover back on. Well, filler pipe. Set on there to lock it in position. There's time for your air box. Make sure that slots in correctly at the back Can you see there? Got one each side. Need to slot into that. Push that down there. Push that down there. The rest of it is all pretty self-explanatory. Figure pipe. Refit your jump start connector. Make sure it clips in. Bottom plug. Top plug. Don't forget to tighten the clip. Use the correct tool this time. And there you go. That should be under the bonnet done. Now I guess we'll see how it starts. Right, here's the old box for anyone who's interested of the filter. Now I did actually get the wrong one sent up initially, so it's always a good idea to once you fit a fuel filter, keep the box or keep a record of the part number, because then when you order one the next time, you can give the part supplier the part number and they can't get it wrong. Right, let's see how she starts. Okay, now we need to give the lift pump a little bit of a chance to fill up the fuel filter. So what I generally do is switch the ignition on and leave it for a few seconds. Sometimes you can hear the pump buzzing away underneath. It will time out after a few seconds. When it does, switch it off, flip the ignition on again. And the more times you do this, the better really. The less chance you've got of it spinning over forever and a day. All we're trying to do is fill up the fuel filter so we don't drain the rest of the fuel system, the rail injectors, etc. We'll give it one more go. Right, try luck. Sounds quite happy there. And that's it guys, that's how to change the fuel filter on a 2010 Mercedes Sprinter. Thank you for watching.